My second wash that I'm going to put on here is what we call a variegated wash. It's called variegated. All it really means is various colours. I've swapped over to a round brush. I just like this brush. I've been using it for about 15 years. Does the job. That's all I'm interested in. Now, because this is a variegated wash and I've got some lights in it, with watercolours you work from light to dark. So when you've got something of this nature, it's easier and safer to start with your lightest colour. I'm actually using some yellow ochre here, and I'm just rubbing it in. It's going to run because I've got very wet paper. And as I say, for you it will be easier because you'll be working flat. I'm going straight from that colour into a cadmium red. I haven't washed the brush, I don't need to. These two colours, they work really well together. All that happens is the red lightens itself out a little bit as it blends in with the yellow and moves down. And then at the top, I'm going to go back into, and I haven't cleaned my brush again, I don't really need to. I'm going straight into my ultramarine blue, overlapping this. And then cleaner, fresher blue right at the top. Now I've done this on a diagonal really. You don't have to, but it's easier. And all I'm going to do along the bottom here is to just take this colour down. So we're going to do some lifted out clouds and we're going to use some tissue. There are a lot of people that don't like tissue for their clouds. I quite like it. Depends on the effects, how you see things and what you want to do, but I'd recommend you have a go. And I'm just touching the tissue and rolling it slightly. Now the other thing is, if your paper's too wet, all that will happen is where you lift this out, it will backfill with paint. So you want to give it a couple of seconds just to soften in a little bit. Now people will sometimes say you end up with really hard, sharp clouds. That's not my experience at all. I'm pressing the tissue into the paper, but I'm not rubbing it. If you rub it, what happens is you buckle the surface of the paper. So it leaves little bobbly bits that just don't quite look right. So all I'm doing is just touching and rolling the tissue ever so slightly against the paper. Again, you can just do a whole piece of paper and just practice lifting out your clouds. But you can see why I say, in order to get these nice light clouds, you need to have some colour in there. If you don't have any colour, it's almost impossible to get the effect of the clouds standing out. Again, all I'm going to do is right onto this bottom here. I'm just going to bring this across. When we come to paint the bottom in a minute, it will be nice and easy. So I'm quite happy with that. So I'm just going to leave it. I've got my clouds going at a bit of an angle. Makes it look as though the sky is moving. Have a go. Use a whole piece of paper. It doesn't matter.